Houston's officer.
Number one, anyone that's been watching my channel knows that I'm not black conscious. Neither do I baby, spoil, or agree with black people.
I'm so hoarse. Just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Oh, I can breathe.
Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
That's another dumb thing that black people jump. That's another dumb thing that black people jump. Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
Leroy Cruz. Black.
Next to every good black person is a fuck.
I just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Yes, I can hear because of all you've done in me. Now that's just a piece of the song.
Look here, you stepped into Dragnuts territory. I'm the mob, nigga.
Leroy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
I'm superior than a lot of blacks because I follow the right culture. Leroy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
You know, I've seen these atheists act like a bunch of fags.
Leroy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
Leroy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
A woman flashing her beauty. That's like walking in a room with dog treats. Like, why are you bringing those in here? Are you trying to tease me with treats, or what are you doing?
And even clean
I think women are naive.
because of all
I love Jesse Lee Peterson. I think he's got a great mind.
you've done
You need to watch your mouth. You need to watch your goddamn mouth.
in me.
And I'm thinking, brothers, sisters, somebody know this lady. Come get your dog. Like, call off your dog, man. Get her out of here, you know.
Leroy Cruz, your life application, Obstacle, signing off. Give me something and I'll write a video about it. God bless you. Good night.
Yay! Yay! I love that fucking intro. It's so good. If y'all are wondering what this is here, I have an actual Blue Yeti microphone now, and a pop filter, and an arm that is somewhat attached to the desk. So I'm a serious YouTube content creator now. Evidently, I needed this in order to have better audio quality. So I hope it actually works, because the setup that I had before was supposedly subpar. I'm taking the word of people who know this audio shit a lot better than me. And maybe I can stop muting myself when I don't mean to. So we'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, but there's a flashing ass light here that lets me know when I'm not muted. Or muted, rather. So hopefully, I'm not going to make any promises, but, you know, trying to improve the quality of the stream. If anybody saw, like, I think back, it was like Summer of G-Man. It was like 2 summers ago. What we call Summer of G-Man. When I was doing video reviews, like, you couldn't even see it. You could just hear it. And I would have my phone playing whatever it was, and then you could just kind of see my reaction. That was fucking terrible. The sound quality was awful. Nobody could see anything. And you didn't get to see all the fun shit that I put up here. And you couldn't gamble either, because I didn't know how to do any of this. So there we go. Slowly but surely, I don't know shit about this. Not my area. Anyway, get 2 videos one day. So I did part 1, and then Nate had a stream, very, very important stream, and so I stopped mine so that I could watch his, and so everybody could go watch his, of course. And then I'm just gonna pick it up because I need a break from this idiocy, And I'm kind of glad I did because, man, it got bad. So, quick recap. D-Roy is upset. I know it's a day that ends in Y. Sky's blue. What's new? D-Roy is upset at Officer Chauvin for putting his knee on the neck of George Floyd. Jiu-jitsu is what D-Roy refers to it as. It's not jiu-jitsu, but that's how he references that particular maneuver. D-Roy's also offered his disdain towards the supposedly intoxicated, supposedly a thief, George Floyd. What kind of evidence does D-Roy have that George attempted theft and that George had some invalid form of currency by which he tried to purchase items from a store? D-Roy does not have any evidence for that either, in fact, he was still questioning what denomination the actual bill was, or if it was a check, or it's still up in the air. So, D-Roy did express his ire towards people who were out there protesting, rioting. Same thing to him. Same exact thing. He did, though, draw a distinction after he had been corrected, because initially D-Roy had stated that there was just a bunch of black people who were outside doing bad things outside, protesting, rioting, same difference. And he actually had to have a member of law enforcement that he is in contact with, a supervisor of some sort, who was white, because that's important, tell him that the agitator, the actual person that the police were interested in starting the riots, was indeed a white person. So after being disabused, after D-Roy himself admitted that he had made a gross error in his assessment, D-Roy still persists in the idea that the agitators are indeed black and that there are outside elements who are coming into the city causing mayhem, black and white groups. How does he know that there's separate racial groups coming in and causing discord? Who the fuck knows? He made that up too. So, we are about halfway through this fucking video. And D-Roy, as always, if I have somehow misinterpreted your weird just series of events that you've described here, please feel free to correct me, because I'm still fucking lost as to how you came to any of these goddamn conclusions. How you somehow managed to miss the droves of white people mixed in with the group of every other person doing the same exact thing is beyond me, but maybe you have a good explanation.
Freedom!
D-Roy cruising on his scooter like putt 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 putt. Putt 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 putt.
Y'all having a little bit too much fun with that. Yeah, just a little bit too much fun.
That are doing this rioting. And I was real fast to blame it all on black people, but my boss, who's white, called me on the phone and she said, well, we were talking about it, and she said, well, D-Roy, there was a white man that showed up and threw the first brick. It was a white man that threw the first firebomb. Okay? They're paying these groups to come in and start the riots. Most of the people that were protesting, they were actually on a bridge praying and just having a discussion about it, having a memorial. But then there was the black groups that showed up, and there was white groups that showed up as well, and they threw the first bricks. These people were not even part of the protest, but they were invited to come to the protest, so they came to the protest. They threw the first bricks, and they threw the first fire bombs. They started burning things up, and after they, led the way, then all the thugs that were in the crowd of protesters decided, okay, y'all led the way, I guess that means we can loot. And they started breaking in the stores, crashing the windows, and taking stuff. And I hope the majority of them get arrested.
Now, you have to ask yourself, did D-Roy himself witness this, or is this what he was told? I'm not sure what black group and what white group from these outsiders that he's alluding to, who these groups even are, right? He's just labeled them by their racial designation. I didn't know that such a thing happened. But supposedly this is the case, and D-Roy has some insider information that not only did these two separate racial groups of agitators come into the city, to Pittsburgh, he knows that there are people who were already on the bridge that he's identified as previously praying and discussing the matter. The rabble rousers among them were incited in some way, shape, or form by the outsiders to then go and loot, and so he hopes that they get their comeuppance. This scenario is beautiful. This sort of encapsulates how D-Roy thinks. Obviously, D-Roy made this up. Like that's it shouldn't be too hard for anybody to figure out that D-Roy fabricated this. Now, did he receive information from his superior? Absolutely, I don't doubt that for a second. The second part of what he is surmising here, that there's somehow the signal, that signal power was lit. And then the thugs, as he calls them, somehow came out of the masses and just started doing things. If you were to ask him, D-Roy, why didn't they start that prior to outside agitators? I'm sure he'd have an excellent answer for that. Because if they had the propensity to do that already, why did they need someone to come from outside the city to do that? That's the first question I asked. Secondly, did you actually witness this happen? Because before, D-Roy, you did not identify any other race outside protesting before. You somehow missed that. But your excellent skills of deduction somehow caused you to figure out these hidden cells of people, these thugs, that you're saying that also are participating in the rioting and the looting after the outside elements came into the town. So somehow all that was missed prior. Okay, D-Roy.
And I don't care if that, and it's all your fault, that it brings the number of black people in prison to another honest, 2 million? Just over the last 6 days, 2 million more blacks in prison? Hey, you did this to yourself, black folks. Did nobody do this to you but you doing this to yourself? But my friend took me home from work, and I was so mad, and I'm still angry about it. It really made my days off. It really made the week long, okay? And now here, I'm getting ready to, tomorrow will be my last day off. It's 10 minutes after 11 here in Pittsburgh right now. Tomorrow is my last day off. I feel like after everything I've been through this week, I need a week off. A week for a week. This is crazy. Before I get into Jesse Lee, the riots were not just black people. Let me clarify. They were white and black. My boss clarified that for me, and I went to video, and I actually seen a white man throw the first brick. Okay?
So, here we go. I'm glad now that he acknowledges how wrong he was initially. Now, and I said this before, actually in a previous hangout, if you were watching Nate's, that people fuck up, people make mistakes, but do they learn from them? Do they learn from their mistakes? D-Roy knows that he fabricated that first scenario. He knows good and goddamn well that's not what he saw, if he saw anything. There's literally no way that he actually saw that in real life. So how did he come to that first conclusion if he didn't actually see anything? Because I'm willing to grant, throughout his travels, because of the blocking of the highways or whatever, the bus wouldn't come because they were all canceled because of what was happening, and someone had to take him home. He may have saw something on the way home. Granted, cool, awesome. I'm willing to buy that. That's feasible. But it's hard to believe he missed all those people. It's really hard to believe that. So he did not see anything. He fabricated then what happens, and then he's condemning the fabrication. So now that he's been corrected, now that he's acknowledging halfway through his own fucking video that he had to offer that correction up in light of someone else I guess he respects, let's see how he goes about evaluating, because there's been no objectivity here by D-Roy. He's not even trying. So I'm hoping at some point he realizes his own bias.
But see, black folks, y'all need to learn how to hit them with the book. I don't believe in protesting. Protesting is what you do when you feel that there's a political issue that you cannot break, but you feel that legislation for your lifestyle, your movement, or whatever have you, okay, needs to be addressed, needs an open window, needs to be treated fairly, whatever. Okay, that, it's political. For example, persecution of Christians that is not violent, but, taking our tax dollars, making us pay, they inflict it from, I can understand if we don't get any tax credit breaks anymore and all that stuff, but to turn it around and make us pay taxes on everything we do as Christians now is just wrong. And I can understand protests for that. But you'll never see a Christian go out there and, even Christian persecution that is violent, like the persecution that's going on in the Muslim nations, the persecution that's going on in China against Christians is violent. People are dying. People are even being sexually assaulted in some of this persecution. You name it. Their kids are being taken away from them, and you name it. They ain't out there throwing no firebombs. They ain't out there throwing bricks. They know that ain't going to do nothing but create more persecution. And let me tell you something, black folks. When you get mad for somebody that ain't related to you, you know about as much about George Floyd as I do, okay? And you want to go out here and say, oh, this is our chance to shine.
Okay, I wanted to let him talk just to see where this weird meandering series of patronizing language goes. So let me try to offer a summation of this nonsense here. So D-Roy has already been corrected. He's already been educated that it's not just black people. But somehow, his ire still turned right back to that original mistake that he fucking made. Isn't it really interesting how that happened? He actually knows now that the original agitators weren't even black. He knows now that they're outside elements, but it's still the fault of an entire race of people in D-Roy's mind. A race of people that evidently he's not part of because he's an exception. But I find it interesting because I know a little something about D-Roy. He considers himself a patriot, but he doesn't like protests. Well, D-Roy, that's a part of being an American. That's actually participating in protests is about as American as apple pie. Sorry, D-Roy. It's not based on what you personally like. A protest is a right that's enshrined by that document you claim to fucking love. So you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. But this is you. This is clear D-Roy. This is 100% unadulterated D-Roy. You say things and you live something else. Your behaviors and actions do not match the rhetoric that you express. The ignorant notions that you tend to espouse betray you. I mentioned this before. I don't agree with the Dickies wearing tiki torch motherfuckers who say that, you know what, the Jews will not replace us. But it's their right to protest. I don't have to agree with it. It's not the point. But you, D-Roy, in order for a protest to be valid, it has to somehow identify with whatever victimhood arena that you currently reside in. So in this case, it's, I guess, violent persecution of Christians, or what was the other thing? Making Christians pay taxes on stuff. Oh Jesus, oh man, however will people live? That's how it's supposed to exist in your mind. Well, I'm so glad that the law isn't interpreted by your narrow understanding, or should say misunderstanding of constitutional law. But it is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. You talk out of both sides of your fucking mouth. You were just corrected on your generalization, and you went right back to it.
Get up on the stage because we're victims, and let's get up on the stage and make a name for ourselves. This is our time to get on YouTube and get on Instagram and Twitter and that, and this is our time to be in the media and in the news. I want them to see me, setting that police car on fire. Okay? You ain't helping George Floyd's memorial. You're not giving the family closure. You're not helping anything. Matter of fact, where's it at? the brother of Floyd, of George Floyd, said this. He said, "What y'all doing? Y'all doing nothing." He says, "Don't put my brother's name in the middle of no daggone rioting." He was pissed. My man trying to mourn for his brother. And he's mourning and pissed at the same time because he knows that this white man did wrong. You know, the best thing you could have done for George Floyd was to send money, GoFundMe. Everybody get together and pay a tithe. See, we know something about that in church. That's how we get things done in church. We pay tithes, which ain't a lot of money at all, okay, until it's over the period of time, and then it's a lot of money, but starting off, it's just pocket change, okay? Everybody take a tenth, which would be pocket change, that they got to buy themselves, you know, a candy bar or a coffee machine, a coffee maker or something, okay? Take that money, okay, and give it to the family so that they can get the best attorneys to make sure that this Derek Chauvin is brought to justice, okay? Because, you know, he got attorneys. You know his white behind got some good attorneys to
I'm pretty sure the Fraternal Order of Police, police unions, will take care of that. I think it doesn't come down to a racial issue. I think that's actually part of how their union works. So it comes down to it. Like everything is a dichotomy. Everything is dichotomy. Black or white, you know, right or wrong, dark, light, whatever. God, not God. Everything's a simple dichotomy. DeRoy is a simple thinker. He's a simple man. So any shade of gray, any nuance is lost upon him. So if you see him draw these very strict dichotomies that don't actually exist in real life, that's why. This for those of you who understand. But does it seem strange to anyone that DeRoy is quite passive in this sense, where yes, George Floyd's brother did speak out, absolutely, and I'll actually read the quote. "I'm outraged too. Sometimes I get angry. I want to bust some heads too." Terrence Floyd said Sunday on ABC. "My brother wasn't about that. My brother was about peace. You'll hear a lot of people say that he was a gentle giant. George Floyd was all about positivity, motivation," his brother said, urging protesters to channel your anger elsewhere. "Don't tear up your town. All of this is not necessary because his own family and blood is not doing it. Then why are you?" And so that's the message that they were sending to people who were in the community who were lashing out. So that is something that has been expressed. Yet the issue seems to be that the riots and the rabble rousing were actually started by friends and associates of George Floyd. In fact, I'm not sure if the person that even DeRoy had referenced and I referenced in the first video are even remotely connected or know anything much about Floyd other than they're tired of police or they just want to start shit. We don't actually know that because the person who actually started the rioting has not been caught. Last time I checked, I think they've identified him. Not sure, he may have been caught. So before we starting to place blame, right? Let's get a hold of the situation, because DeRoy himself seemed fixated upon this notion that this is an entirely black issue and that it's only black people doing it, and that his ire is squarely upon an entire race of people because he has the ear and has a telepathic link to every other black person in Pittsburgh because DeRoy is special.
You know, throw every argument he can on the table so that he can get away with this scot-free. But if you fund the family, there's a lot of good white attorneys out there would be willing to go in there because you paying them white money. See, when that money gets high, this coming from your own beliefs and your own words, when that money is high, it becomes white money. It then went from green to white. Now to me, it's always green, but to y'all, some of y'all victims, when that money starts to add up and become money that can really, really, really get things done, it's white money. But see, there's enough black people protesting to make some white money. You get yourself all together and make some white money. You use the book. Throw the book at them. You throw the money at the situation. That's what white people do, folks. They throw money at stuff. Okay? What do you think Chauvin is doing right now while he is behind bars. He got members of his family.
He's thanking people like you for putting out misinformation, I'm sure. So this depiction isn't anything new to me. Some of you may be a bit baffled as to why D-Roy refers to this scenario as such, but it is the perception from somebody who has been in beleaguered neighborhoods, a person who not very well educated, but a person who understands that there are social class issues and there are racial issues, and so the separation between them may come down to one or two things. And so this is something that I understand from D-Roy, right? But just throwing money at a situation does not resolve it. And I think that's incredibly lazy and negligent, but this is D-Roy. Everything is simple. There's always simple solutions to complex problems. So that's why you'll see him do things like this. This is why he gets along with G-Man. This is why he takes up for G-Man. Simple people, simple solutions, simple friends.
He already got his attorney and other people that got his back throwing money at this situation to help him get out. By the time he goes to trial, he's going to have a dozen arguments to say that, oh, it was an accident. He was resisting arrest. The camera footage is wrong, and you know, he's going to bring up details that didn't get seen on camera. That's going to make him look good or something. Because Floyd was drunk. Floyd did resist arrest. A lot of y'all think he didn't resist arrest. He did. Okay, I saw it. And not only that, but he was not very nice to them boys when they said, hey, your 20 didn't check out. Can you give us the stuff back and give us a different 20 or use your credit card or something like that?
That's fine. That does not preclude the police from following their protocol. I'm not the stuff. This again, just to reiterate, D-Roy loves mentioning a lot of irrelevant details about things. That's probably why his videos are so long. None of that matters. It doesn't matter whether he was actively stealing. Doesn't matter whether he didn't know. None of that matters. You put on a uniform, D-Roy, you should know this, but I can tell by your attitude that you probably are shit at your job too. And yes, I am judging you, D-Roy. Yes, absolutely. As somebody who has worked in your capacity for more than one time in my life, yes, I can kind of tell. So it does not matter. You follow protocol, whether he's drunk or not. You don't just get to decide what you want to do. Oh, well, this guy, he might be selling singles. He might be trying to cash a bad check. You might have counterfeit money. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant, D-Roy. All of that is irrelevant. He could have been throwing shit at someone. You restrained them using the same technique as if he wasn't throwing shit at you. Obviously, you're going to put on some PPE, but other than that, it's the same stuff. And I know that may be hard for you to understand, D-Roy. You may not actually had to try and restrain someone. I can tell from your stature that I highly doubt that you've had to actually do that. I have. I don't get to pick and choose what I want to do based on scenario. Well, you know what? I'm just going to break protocol today. I don't like this guy. Oh, I got some previous history with this guy. Let me rough him up a little bit. That's unprofessional. You're allowing the situation to escape you by mentioning irrelevant shit. You do your fucking job. That's it.
He said, man, get out of here. Get away from my vehicle, okay? He was being your typical black guy that I see on the street every day that I know, wait for it, bam. I knew he was going to get shot, okay? You can't act like that, man. And because when you act like that, Floyd, you make all of us black people suffer. This is my problem with black people. Is you always get angry first before you think. Anger first, think later. Anger first, think later. But that's not how life goes, man. You got to hit them with the book, man. You got to hit them with the money, which black people are afraid to do. Oh, y'all know how to buy.
So here's D-Roy. I love the irony of somebody who can barely defend his own points and to get people to agree with the shit that comes out of his mouth, trying to talk down to an entire race of people that he is a part of, right? But it gets better. D-Roy knows how to escape these sticky situations. Man, only if Philando Castile even knew, you know, it might have saved him some trouble, right? But it is amazing. It shouldn't be a surprise as to why he's a fan of Jesse Lee Peterson. Shouldn't be a surprise at all. Both of them are on the same mental level. And no, that's not a compliment. It is absolutely amazing that D-Roy himself does not embody any of these qualities he wants to instill within others. But you know what? I'm trying my best to be a bit nicer to D-Roy. But he is absolutely fucking ignorant. Absolutely fucking ignorant.
Y'all know how to pay all that money on weaves, and y'all know how to go out there and buy big screen TVs, and yo, you go in some of these black people's house. Man, I look at their house, I want to paint myself more blacker than what I am. I can't afford all that stuff, and I'm working. Y'all ain't working, y'all got all this stuff in your house. Y'all got everything.
So how do they afford all the weave and stuff if they're not working? I'm pretty sure you can't buy that with EBT. D-Roy, is it possible that people don't work shit jobs? Is it possible that people don't spend all their money on guitars and ukuleles? Is it possible that people are more financially stable than you and fiscally responsible? It's absolute, like, I feel like I'm just fucking repeating myself at this point. That any stereotype that exists, he's just going to believe it because, well, D-Roy, you must be the special ass exception because being poor, broke, and old and fucking stupid doesn't embody you at all. Talk about the uneducated masses, D-Roy. That's not you to a fucking T, is it? Is it, D-Roy? You wouldn't be one of those people, are you? Man, D-Roy. Matter of fact, D-Roy, where's your vehicle at? Where's your vehicle? If we're talking about people being financially responsible and having things in their possession that should match where they are in life, D-Roy, where's your fucking vehicle? Why are you looking up mopeds and shit? Oh. So while you're trying to judge people who have disposable income to spend on their hair, what the fuck are you doing in life exactly? Because man, you love to look down on people. You love to do that. The last time I checked, I'm doing pretty fucking well, my man. I ain't gotta take the bus. You do. But let me talk down to you the same way that you talk down to other people and you get in your fucking feelings because you've done it before. You've done it before. Because I've had to make this point to you about your depiction of what other... D-Roy, do you not realize that you represent a lot of those fucking stereotypes? Do you not realize that? I could make a whole episode just going over all the zip coon bullshit that you embody. To give your ass a fucking stage and some goddamn tap dancing shoes, man. Jesus. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you looked in the mirror, D-Roy? There's probably at least 3 or 4 negative racial stereotypes that I can think of. Categories even. Labels. Names. That you embody. How about I make a whole episode about that, D-Roy? Just so you understand where you are in life, little man. Because, boy, do you take great pleasure in doing that to other people. But the second I do that shit to you, you start taking videos down. You start getting in your fucking feelings. I understand that this is a catharsis for you. It's easy for you, little man, to look down your nose at other people. It's easy for you to talk about other people throwing money at shit. How about you throw some money into your own education? How about you throw some money into you getting a fucking vehicle? How about you throw some time and dedication into edifying yourself so you can get a better job? So then maybe you can be a bit better than those people who are just buying weaves. How about that? No, I don't think you are. I think you're just as bad as the people you're talking about. You just want to believe that you're better. But you're not. You're a poor, broke, old trash who lives near older trash of a different color. You are just as bad as they are, if not worse.
Okay? So I know y'all got the money. Take some of that money that you getting on that excessive welfare, okay, on that alimony and child support and all like that. Throw some money at the situation. Send the family some money, okay, so that you can get a winning trial for George Floyd, okay? The biggest lie of white people, is this. They're afraid to be honest with black people. And I agree with Donald Trump. The minute they told me that they was going to shut the buses down because of the protest, I said, that's not a protest. That is disturbing the peace. I didn't kill George Floyd.
Okay, so just as a quick recap, you can still protest and commit acts of civil disobedience. It's still a protest. Sit-ins are a form of protest, right? Sit-ins in restaurants, sit-ins on buses. That's still protest. So when you might have heard of this, D-Roy, but when people are arm in arm and they walk across bridges and highways and stuff like that and down roads, that blocks traffic. I could have sworn there was a period of time where that was kind of a favorite technique of people. You might have heard of some of these folks at some point in time, because I want you to get to that point. I really want you to get to that point where you are overtly saying that the techniques that are emblematic of the civil rights movement should not have been committed. I want you to get there, because you're on the precipice of it. You probably, the bad part is that you probably don't even know that. You don't even, I guarantee the fact that I'm saying that now, it'll probably dawn on you and you'll have to clarify later. No, well, I didn't mean to say, yes, the fuck you did. Because you're inconvenienced, you're upset, now this is your way of expressing it. I get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're inconvenienced. So the fuck what? George Floyd was inconvenienced too by having a knee on his fucking neck. And? So what? But it's I'm sorry, D-Roy. I'm sorry. My mistake. It's about you. I'm sorry.
What you blocking my way to get home for? I'm black. On top of it.
And
what you making my life inconvenient for? Praise God, my friend who loves money because he loves.
You notice something with D-Roy. He doesn't want to identify with being black unless it benefits him. Does anybody catch on to that? Because before, and like I said, in a few videos, he pointed out, I'm not a part of any black community. I'm part of the Christian community. But when it comes to someone supposedly doing something to him or for him, then he'll pick and choose when he wants to identify as that. When he wants to be a victim, then he's black, right? Then you need to have pity upon him. But I've noticed that with D-Roy. He'll pick and choose that. And it's cute. It's real cute. But then again, this is his life.
Loves to gamble. And I was afraid I was going to have to give him. I figured he would charge me whatever I was going to pay Z-Trip. I figured he would charge me that because I was ready for him to do that. And he was going to charge me whatever I was going to pay Z-Trip and use that money to gamble because he loves to scratch tickets. He loves to spend excess money on tickets. Okay? But he was riding me home. He said, you know what, man, I don't want nothing from you in honor of George Floyd. And meanwhile, Sunday, girl comes to the hospital. She's on detox. She just came off of, she came off on detox. Now she needs another fix because she's doing drugs. Okay, she tries to run, and a police grab her, and she starts crying. Meanwhile, a mile away down the street, they protesting and still doing riots. But this girl is upset. She tried to evade 4 white officers, one of them being biracial. Okay. She tried to evade them.
The fuck does that matter?
And when they finally restrained her, she cried. And all these white people was there hugging her. I also seen the commissioner of Minneapolis, doing the same thing to a lot of the people that were upset at the riots.
Okay, so what? You see what I'm talking about when D-Roy meant all these frivolous details? There were 3, 4 white officers. One of them was biracial. Who gives a shit? There's a chick who's obviously coming down. She ain't too happy. She gonna take the fuck off. If I was in her situation, I'd probably do the same thing. Okay, cool. And someone showed her compassion. And? Okay, and? What? What the fuck does that have to do with anything, D-Roy? Why don't you go on a whole story about what you ate this morning? I'm pretty sure that's relevant too, D-Roy. Tell us how many butterflies you spotted while you were riding the bus. I'm pretty sure that's relevant as well. Tell us everything that was going through your head when you were taking a shit, D-Roy. Because everything that you think in the moment is actually relevant, and we just don't know. Because what is it you say? I talk in riddles and paradoxes. You know, I'm a church boy. I talk in yes, D-Roy. That's the excuse as to why you can't have a linear fucking frame of thought. That's why we have to meander in and out of topics listening to you. That's exactly why. We all believe you.
You know, hugging people, and there were officers that were taking off their helmets and their riot gear, and they were saying, look, man, look, I'm here for peace. I'm just here to protect and serve. And you know what I'm saying? Feel free to protest, but do it safely. Don't hurt other people. But see, damage was already done. Then they wanted to get mad. They said, oh, well, they said that here, I think, was it Washington? No, it was Minneapolis itself. The protest was doing fine, from what I understand. The protest was doing fine until the cops showed up. And I'm thinking, when has there ever been a protest where the cops didn't show up? Wait a minute. When the KKK have rallies, the cops don't show up? When Christians are standing in front of abortion clinics with signs up, cops don't show up? Oh, but y'all felt that because...
Actually, yeah, there are plenty of protests that happen where cops don't show up, actually. There are remote areas where they don't even know what's going on. Yeah, there are plenty of abortion clinics that don't have people to protect the people going in. Like, that's not something that all of them have last time I checked. That's why people have to get usually a male that they know to come and escort them, because there's no police to do it. So I'm not sure what you've been following, D-Roy, but maybe something different. How much do you want to bet that D-Roy refused to sit anywhere aside from the back of the bus? Look, you may know better than me. I'm just saying.
A cop killed George Floyd. Y'all don't want the cops around. Y'all was waiting for the cops to come around so y'all could start some crap. Black people. I'm so glad my mama raised me different. I really, really am. I'm so glad to be a Christian, number one, because Christians don't act like this. Even Democratic Christians. I'm sure they were not at the protest.
Yeah, that's true. There are no Christians at the protest. Okay, D-Roy.
I'm sure Democratic Christians were not at the protests. They weren't at the riots. And if there was one here and there that might have showed up to see what was going on, the minute somebody threw something or started cussing, they walked off the premises and said, I'm going home. Because we Christians, even the most liberal of us, got common sense like that. Even when we black, we got common sense like that to know how to walk away from a fight. Okay, before things...
It's weird that it has to be like this afterthought that black people have common sense to stay away from impending danger. It's interesting. Thank you. Yeah, even if we, yeah, like this is the mindset. See, D-Roy, when I called his ass out before, he got mad. He's upset that the intro music depicts who he really is, and he claims that he's being slandered and misrepresented. No, it's shit like this that validates exactly all the nice little clips that I feel encapsulate who D-Roy really is as a person. He's a self-loathing black man. He hates himself. Like, if I had to guess.
Get escalated. But this is what makes me mad with these white Democrats and these white liberals who try to act like they're on our side because you're a freaking liar. You ain't on our side. You know what white people are doing to black people? They want black people to feel like victims. That's why they keep talking. They get on the news and they refer to us all the time as the black community. I'm still trying to figure out where this crazy place is at. Where is this black community?
Right. So it's weird that in one instance, D-Roy, before you identified as being part of a black community in your area, but now all of a sudden you don't know where it is. That's real strange, isn't it? It took you less than 10 minutes to do that flip. Man, D-Roy, you are good. You did that 180 in less than 10 fucking minutes. So I have to ask, because I know you're going to watch this eventually, the group of people that you identified in your area who were black, why did you do that? Why did you identify with them? Because before you were miffed that they would impede your way home or going to and from work, right? Because you identified with them and they should have identified with you. That's where the disconnect was. Why did you do that if there's no community there? That you see what I'm getting at, D-Roy? You can't have it both ways. You can't insist that people identify with you based on your racial designation and then pretend it doesn't exist when it's inconvenient. This is that bullshit, D-Roy. This is pure, unadulterated fuckery from you. And this is why it's so easy for me to call out your bullshit. It takes little to no time. I just have to let you talk enough, and you'll start contradicting yourself. You defeat your own fucking statements. It's already shown that you make up shit. But to make up shit and then contradict yourself, it makes it even worse. You should feel really bad about this video. You should feel terrible because you just make yourself look bad.
I thought I was an American. A black American, African American. Okay, I'm fine with that, but nevertheless, capitalize American. Okay? I don't understand where this black community is. But they keep talking about black people like they're victims of something, like they're dogs in a freaking cage. Oh, somebody.
Wasn't he just lamenting about white officers harming black people? Wasn't this whole video just about that? So there's a group of people that he hasn't been able to identify for some strange reason, but he can identify them as being victims of police violence by white officers. But he doesn't know what they... So hold on, what is this? 3745? Let me see. Yes, 3745.
We're going to protest, and we're going to let them do it. Whatever they need to do to get it off their chest, let them do it. Now, I agree with you that you need to quit letting us get stuff off our chests, and you need to put a stop to some stuff so we don't have...
Who is us, D-Roy? Who is us? D-Roy. D-Roy. Who is us? If you're not identifying yourself as a part of another fucking group, who is us?
have to keep getting stuff taken off our chests. God damn. Okay? Just stop it. Do your job, like Trump said. Okay? Retrain these goddamn cops. You cannot do that. You don't put your neck on somebody's neck. Your knee in somebody's neck. Okay? When they don't have any power to resist arrest.
So he got real mad and real animated. There was a us that came out there. A us. You can't do us. Get it off our chest. Us. That's multiple people. So there's somewhere that D-Roy identifies with more than one person, but he can't for some reason find this. So there is this nebulous group of individuals, maybe somewhere that he's maybe sort of kind of I found them and identify with. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But it's that easy. It's sad that I knew exactly where to look to find that clip too. I knew exactly where to look. But that's D-Roy. That is pure fucking D-Roy. Where is it? What did I say? 37:45. There we go.
Something like they're dogs in a freaking cage. Oh, somebody, sponsor a pet today. Be a pet lover today. Look at all these abused animals and daggone these people that are abusing these dogs and cats and got them in cages. Send money and help us free these animals from sickness and starvation and poverty and health and get them what they need. I'm not no victim any more than any white man is a victim. I wasn't even here when they went through slavery. I wasn't here when they went through Jim Crow. I was born in 1966, and while a lot of BS was going on, I was, what you want, Mom? Huh?
Yeah, I'm not surprised you were asleep during civil rights. It shows.
Come on, let's get real. I didn't know what was going on, right? I woke up and what is that, Motown? Wait a minute, white people let y'all do that? Like, wait a minute, them are white people in the audience. There's more white people in the audience than there are blacks. They just dancing, doing a little hippie dance. Oh, but they stole Motown from us. They stole, this used to be a black song, and they made it a white song, and white supremacy. Wait a minute. You mean
How
to
the
tell
fuck did we get from George Floyd to him sleeping through civil rights and I guess like whitewashing music? Like what? How did we get here?
me black folks don't take white things and try to make them better by adding a little bit of black jazz, a little black salt and pepper and ketchup and season that up real nice and make it more fitting to the so-called black community? Come on. Come on, quit hating, black folks, quit hating. But at the same time, I get sick and tired of these white people lying to us and calling us.
There's that fucking word again. There's that fucking word again. Why do you keep saying us, D-Roy, if you don't know what fucking community is? D-Roy, do you not hear yourself? You keep doing it. You keep fucking doing it. If you don't identify with a fucking group, then there is no us. Then there's just D-Roy. I thought you were just a Christian. You are just an American. You're just an individual. Quit saying us. There is no us then, D-Roy. You can't have it both ways, dumbass. Do you not get that? My God, for all the vitriol and idiocy, you seem not to actually hear yourself. You are literally trying to talk out of both sides of your fucking mouth at this point. The second you catch your breath, you know I gotta fucking switch gear. God damn it.
As victims. I ain't no goddamn victim of anything.
He's not a he's not a victim. He's not a victim. Look, he keeps saying us. He's tired of us being victim. Us needs the white cops need to stop messing with us. But I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. Okay, D-Roy. You're not a victim. Okay, D-Roy. Sure.
Now, I respect that a lot of y'all white people come from a culture that teaches us to know how to.
Okay, here we go. There's that word again. Us. That D-Roy, who's us?
Fix everything, okay, in your proximity. You know how to fix the scooter. You know how to fix the stove. You know how to fix the car. You know how to put a roof on your own house. You know how to fix the heat. You know how to go underground and redo the grass and redo the plumbing and you know how to do everything.
What the fuck? Have you not met any black person that is in a trade? Like, are you fucking... This tells me that D-Roy is... I'm just going to say he's just ghetto trash. Like, the same... I'm going to use the same label that he actually uses for other people. D-Roy is ghetto ignorant trash. Ghetto fabulous. D-Roy, you have got to be fucking kidding me. You've never met a black tradesman in your fucking life? Are you kidding me? No, entire families who have the same trade. Like, hello, why do you think there are black people in Michigan? Why do you think that they're there? Entire families in Michigan. Tradesmen. For laughs, bash on Anesion, it makes everyone happy. I might actually do that. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. This is it, listen closely. Oh my God. Like, this is just, there's black tradesmen in my fucking chat, dude. Like, are you crazy? Come on.
You got a right to have more houses than a lot of black folks have because you know, you give me a house, you won't have to come fix it because I don't know how. Okay? Now, I remember a white man giving me a big lecture about that. And I says, well, the kitchen thing, give me a break, man. But I got to admit, the roof, the tile, I'm willing to give that a shot because...
You've got to be fucking kidding. My cousin is a tradesman. My cousin does roofs.
D-Roy says he has his mom to thank for the way he turned out. I say we have his mom to blame.
She did a fucking disservice raising his ass. Or not, excuse me, not raising his ass. Folks, I have a biological first cousin that does roofs. I literally have a cousin that does... He works for the same company my other cousin owns. He's the owner of a goddamn roofing company. Right? Like, this is absolutely fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking dumb. That tells me that you've not actually been anywhere or talked or done shit. Are you kidding me? I'm literally related to black tradesmen. Just, oh my God. It's hard to imagine somebody this fucking ignorant, but it happens. It happens. It happens. I've not made it this far in the video, but this is painful. I could call my cousin right now and ask him, and put him on speakerphone. Yeah, I got a lot of cousins. Like I got 22 cousins, some shit like that. But wow, Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's really, really costly. Okay, but don't act like I'm the only. Don't act like it's a black thing at this day and time for people to be not completely mechanically inclined. There are a lot of white folks that ain't mechanically inclined, especially in 2020. Let's get real. I got friends that tell me, "Oh, it's going to cost me this. It's going to cost me that." You still white. You still got money. Now here you got to.
You still, it's gonna cost me. So I just like I really have to wonder how D-Roy gets to sleep at night, because on the one hand he has to like have this struggle with himself where he resides in this perpetual fucking victimhood of being a part of a race of people that he can't seem to identify when it doesn't suit him. And everybody else who actually acquires things in life, it's a direct result of a sole result of their racial designation. Just wow. Like I think this is how he sleeps at night. This is why he goes, well, you know what? I am where I am in life because I didn't win the genetic lottery, right? And so, like, in part, yes, every one of us, that's the genetic lottery plays a big role in how we turn out. But the decisions we make play an even larger role, I'm afraid. But holy fuck. Like, this is sad. This, like, he's letting us in on how he rationalizes basic shit. If I am evaluating my self-worth to the next person, and I'm only viewing it through this very myopic racial lens, my prospects are going to look like shit. But my God, like this, yeah. At one point, I actually felt pity for D-Roy. And do Lil Gary is really, really saying like, yeah, this is because he doesn't. There's the problem here is that he doesn't even realize how bad he sounds. I don't even think he knows how sad this is. Yeah, I'm looking to buy a house in the next few years. Absolutely, my cousin's already on it, but my cousin's completed his education. Right? He's already got a full-time job. He's supporting his family, his kids, you know, doing his cop thing. That's where I want to be. But I'm not comparing myself to, you know, Jimmy Swanson next door, or down the street, I should say, who has, like, I don't give a fuck. Right? I'm concerned with getting some good rates on some houses. Like, getting fucked in property tax. Like, that's what I care about. That's what means something to me. You know, getting some good square footage, you know. But it's like I can't imagine going through life thinking like this. Think like with this really fucked up mindset. But what kills me about D-Roy, the overall kicker, is that this is the same guy who insists that you listen to him about life advice. That is the overarching problem that I have. D-Roy insists that, because and for those of you who've been watching for a while, you remember D-Roy making a video and saying quite openly that the only relationship he and I are going to have is between like a patient and a doctor. Him being the doctor, me being the patient. And so he will simply dictate to me and others. Hell no. Why would I listen to someone who's less than me? And I feel fully confident in saying he's less than me in every sense, in every feasible way. Except being ignorant. Why would I ever take any advice from this person about literally anything? It could be watching a dead cat in the street.
Freedom.
I guess I can give up now because I can't do street according to D-Roy.
Yeah, evidently, you're just worthless. Absolutely fucking worthless. Like, it is sad. It's shockingly sad how this man goes throughout life. This is misery. I don't know what I would do if I had this mindset. This is sad. Hug, you know, grab an Asian woman, man. I think I like a part of me feels like really bad for this dude, because it's just like, my God, like life has been tough on him. Like, he's like, what, 5'3" or some shit, like 5'2". He's not very well educated, right? But it's just, he has to look he's a midget in the fucking elevator when somebody farts. Like that's the scenario. Like if you want an illustration of how I view him, that's it right there. Midget in the elevator with people farting, and he's the first one to smell the shit. He's the first one, and that's all he can smell. Like that's what's in his proximity. Everybody else, they're up and they're pretty much safe from it. They can only get hints here and there, but it's right there in his face. So that's going to stunt his growth, no pun intended, as far as how he views the world. Because this very, very, very myopic lens, this strict dichotomy that he views everything in, it precludes him from truly appreciating the diversity of life and any of the nuances that you can explore around literally any topic, especially the complex ones involving race and socioeconomic status. But my God.
White guy that ain't mechanically inclined, like a lot of my neighbors are that own their own homes. He owned his own home and he ain't mechanically inclined. So that means he's going to pay more money than what other white people are paying that are mechanically inclined. And he got less of the job. He's working. He's not really owning his own thing. He's working for himself under somebody else. He makes only a little bit more money than I do. God bless white people, man. I mean, they got it like that. I'd like to see where the spirit falls in all this. They always come out on top.
So that one white dude, if I had to bet money, I'm probably doing better than that dude he's mentioned. If I had to bet money, but it's how. So D-Roy, maybe you could make a whole video explain to me how your world works. How do you view the world? Because one random hillbilly next to you is not emblematic of every white person in America. I don't know how you even made that connection at all, right? I don't like who thinks like that, but besides you. But it is sad. How does one, D-Roy, how does one come to these conclusions? What's the step-by-step process that you use to make these gross generalizations? Because I don't think like that. I think the majority of the people who watch me here don't think like that, right? There's no one person who is a representative of an entire demographic of people. I don't care, what race, religion, or creed that they subscribe to. But for you can pick any random person. That person is emblematic of that group. Oh, when you want to identify if that group even exists or not. But that depends on what argument you need to make. So you'll pretend that it doesn't exist when it's not convenient for you. So me just asking the question, I might as well not even ask it at that point. Yeah, he's just making stuff up again. Yeah, he knows.
Is it really their fault? I don't know. All I know is how come y'all never ever go bankrupt and say, I don't have it? If anybody's giving money to homeless people downtown, it's going to be somebody white. Even if he's the poorest white man down there, he got the money. I've seen these white people, they get tired of you bugging them and they just pull a 5 or a 10 or 20 here. Whatever, 20 here. Take it. Now leave me alone. I mean, they just got it like that. I'm trying, wait, what happened to that 5 I had? Man, don't tell me I lost that 5 somewhere. I thought, that 5 was the last 5 I had in my name. I better leave that alone.
Well, then maybe this kind of goes to the point that I was making before. Maybe you're just not financially responsible. Maybe you just have a shit job. So, I don't. How exactly is it that you don't get that? Everybody else can understand that, but you've yet to separate yourself from the rest of society when it comes to these assessments that you make, because it's incredibly self-serving. Like these weird metrics that you establish for entire groups of people that you will and won't acknowledge every so often. It seems to me to be self-serving. It really seems to be. I don't know who these random ass people are popping up in my chat now. Go to Karag's channel and vote for petition to fatality George's killer. What? Is that English? What the fuck? What?
But I'm tired of these white people lying. Okay? And lying to me about me being a victim and talking to me like I'm a victim. I'm tired of people apologizing to me. Are you apologizing to Asian people? Are you apologizing to Mexican people?
Apologizing
Are you
to Asian
apologizing to
women.
Africans? Are you know what I'm saying? Why do you keep apologizing to black people? I think if we're allowed to vote, we're allowed to own businesses, own real estate, we're allowed to live in Beverly Hills. You know, Brother Polite lives in Beverly Hills. Okay? He brought the ghetto to Beverly Hills. But I don't think he brought the ghetto to Beverly Hills. I think he went to Beverly Hills to get out of the ghetto. Now a lot of people that buy his books are calling him a sellout. But hey, that's another video. But you know,
Hey, if there's a fucking bots in my chat, please yeet us, delete us bots. Not actual people. Yeet us, delete us bots for me. Thank you.
if you're able to vote and you're able to own property, own businesses, own your own stores, you know, sell your own stuff, how do you feel that you're a victim to white supremacy or white privilege? I don't get it.
Okay, so it's weird. He's identifying these racial divisions and racial groups, but can't identify his own. But so evidently, if you can get to a place where you have the autonomy and the revenue on the resources to own your own business, somehow that precludes you from systemic racism. I didn't know that. Evidently, black business owners aren't victims of racism now. So yeah. So I'm not if they are bots. I don't people repeating the same exact, like copy and pasting the same exact thing. If they're bots, I don't know. If they're just people, just time them out. I don't want spam from random fucking channels. People coming in and saying stupid shit, I don't care. But people spamming the same shit, they need to go. This ain't the place.
Because if you can own real estate, then you're on the same level with white people. If you can own your own...
If you can own real estate, you're on the same. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There's a plane of existence, and there's a group of people known as white people. D-Roy, what group of people do you belong to? What community of people do you belong to, D-Roy? Here we go again. Here we go. It's so easy for him to identify other groups, isn't it? Man, that's cool. But so I'm not sure. Like, he must have really been sleeping during civil rights. Like, it's just like it is. I don't understand where he gets his perspective. Like, I don't understand. But so if you can own a business, does that stop the local law enforcement from pulling you over for being black? Okay. If you need another loan for the expansion of your business, and there's, let's say, I don't know, a certain bank that rhymes with Capital One, who is known for discriminating against black investments, or black investors, I should say. So being a business owner precludes you from that, D-Roy? Okay, because you can go look this up, D-Roy. I'm not joking. There was actually a big lawsuit for Capital One involving that. So how exactly does that preclude people? None of this shit makes sense. None of it makes any sense. But I think it's because D-Roy has his own personalized view of what racism actually is. That's the only explanation that I can come up with. That's literally the only thing. And so from whatever narrow view of racism that he has, that's what he's using as the metric, right? To try and gauge whether or not a business owner, because evidently racism is couched in the language of, well, if you're not able to gain a foothold in America under, I don't know, some arbitrary fucking income, like, I don't know. I have no idea. So maybe if I shut up and I let him finish, he'll explain it.
Own home in a nice neighborhood. If you can live in the neighborhood of your choice, then you're on the same level as white people. If you can have a good job, okay, in a huge corporation and get paid all those benefits, sure, okay, it'll be a while before we get to the point to where you got just as many blacks in there as whites, but still, you know what I'm saying? They didn't let you in there because they messed up on your last name and they thought you was white. They let you in there because times are changing, black people. Jim Crow is dead. Let him rest in peace. But stop letting white people tell you that you're a victim. Stop letting them feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for George Floyd. I'm not crying over George Floyd because I don't know George Floyd. To me, he's just another American. I'm not crying over any white people. Why?
Okay. He's just another. So y'all remember, George is just another American. He doesn't know George Floyd, okay? So there's no reason for him to be up in arms or be upset by anything, right? Right? Okay. So we all heard that.
You need to put a stop to some stuff so we don't have to keep getting stuff taken off our chests. God damn. Okay? Just stop it. Do your job, like Trump said. Okay? Retrain these goddamn cops. You cannot do that. You don't put your neck on somebody's neck. Your knee in somebody's neck. Okay?
Weird for him to be upset here because D-Roy looks a little distressed here. Why are you this animated, D-Roy? If George Floyd's death didn't affect you, if you're not upset by that circumstance, why here at about the 3-minute mark are you clearly expressing what could be easily construed as at least frustration, maybe being perturbed, maybe not anger, but your posture, your tone, your cadence, all of it changed dramatically for just that few seconds that you just expressed that. I think you're lying. You want to pretend as though it didn't. You want to pretend that you're above the rabble, but you're not. Just like the people that you talk down to, you are just like them.
You know, if you're able to vote and you're able to own property, own businesses, own your own stores, sell your own stuff, how do you feel that you're a victim to white supremacy or white privilege? Times are changing, black people. Jim Crow is dead. Let him rest in peace. For George Floyd. I'm not crying over George Floyd because I don't know George Floyd. To me, he's just another American. I'm not crying over any white people. Why I gotta cry over George Floyd? I ain't crying over any Asian people, okay? Any Mexican people, any Indian people. So why do I have to cry over George Floyd? What's so special about George Floyd that I gotta cry over him? Absolutely nothing but his death. And I think his big brother or younger brother, whichever one, would agree with me. What y'all doing? Y'all doing nothing. Don't put my brother's name in the middle of your rioting and looting and acting a fool. Those are the words out of his brother's mouth. And here I find
cool. So I'm curious, D-Roy. Do you think that his brother would like what you're saying towards all black people? Do you think that the gross generalizations and the stereotypes that you've employed in this little video here would be something well received by the family? I'm genuinely curious, D-Roy. So if someone were to send some clips of you from this video here, specifically the ones where you're denigrating black people, do you think that their family, the George Floyd family, the ones that are here in Houston actually, do you think that they'd appreciate that? I'm curious.
D-Roy Cruz was the only sensible black man out there. But all of us got a brother, a cousin, a sister, a grandmother, or somebody that ain't like the rest of the black folks in America. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, so he identifies with some black folks here in America and draws a distinction. Interesting. He couldn't find them before, and I guess he found them now.
Y'all make me sick. But you know what? Right now, I'm mad at everybody, not just black folks. I'm mad at everybody because I get tired of hearing people talk about us like we victims, like we dogs and cats in a cage. Like we can't make our choices to break out of things just like white people can.
Okay, cool. So why haven't you done better in life? If you're not in a cage and you're not an animal that needs to be helped, why haven't you done better in life, D-Roy? Why are you still at your job? Right? Why haven't you actually been able to afford a car and move into a better place? Because I could have sworn you're in the same place that we saw you with that black trash bag in front of your window. That's not the sign of, moving on up, my friend. That's not. Sorry. And the leaky roof situation, it doesn't sound like you're in the best accommodations in the world. So while you're talking down to people, or you're talking about what people should be doing for themselves, I think you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror.
I'm going to do a part 2 of this. D-Roy Cruz, your life applications officer. I'm going to do a part 2 of this because I want to share this Jesse Lee Peterson video with you. And also, I want to talk about some of the other things. So I'll do more of this in a moment. Thank you for watching.
Oh, man. Goodness. We get to hear some coontastic stuff. Excellent. So that's it. I've had enough of this AIDS. I'm going to go and see what's going on with the wife. I think she may be on lunch. So I'm see what's up with her. Thank you, folks. I am done. I'm probably going to see if I can get some lobster bisque from Perry's. Actually, I don't know if it's showing up now. Let me see if it's showing up. Because someone reminded me about the treat stream thing. Because I mentioned lobster bisque and Perry's. Okay, it's not showing up now. All right. Yeah, so anyway. It'll show up later. Man, I think you'll put pepper in your bisque. No, I do not. I may try it next time. I might not. D-Roy did another video, and I think it is... He did one before this. And where is it? I think it's this. Yeah, I want to say I got through about half of this one. Too much gas, not enough oil. I'll listen to the rest of that and see if it's worth it. Probably not, but I can't wait for him to play the Jesse Lee Peterson bullshit. His fucking guru. So, other than that, if you have not caught up on D-Roy Cruz, if you're wondering about some of the references, there's a whole playlist that I have on my channel. Y'all can watch that. The further you go back, the more the quality of the stream will falter. So fair warning. Anyway, I'm gonna play y'all out. I'm getting out of here. See y'all later.
D-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer.
Number one, anyone that's been watching my channel knows that I'm not black conscious. Neither do I, baby, spoil or agree with black people.
I'm so hoarse. Just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Oh, I can breathe.
D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
That's another dumb thing that black people jump. That's another dumb thing that black people jump. D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
D-Roy Cruz. Black.
Next to every good black person is a fuck. Just wanna thank you, Lord, that I can breathe today. Yes, I can because of all you've done in me. Now that's just a piece of the song. Look here, you stepped into Dragnuts territory. I'm the mob, nigga.
D-Roy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
I'm superior than a lot of blacks because I follow the right culture. D-Roy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
You know, I've seen these atheists act like a bunch of fags.
D-Roy Cruz.
I'm the mob, nigga.
D-Roy Cruz.
I love me some white people.
A woman flashing her beauty. That's like walking in a room with dog treats. Like, why are you bringing those in here? Are you trying to tease me with treats, or what are you doing?
And even clean.
I think women are naive.
Because of all
I I love Jesse Lee Peterson. I think he's got a great mind.
All done.
Need to watch your mouth. Need to watch your goddamn mouth. And I'm thinking, brothers, sisters, somebody know this lady. Come get your dog. Like, call off your dog, man. Get her out of here, you know.
D-Roy Cruz, your life application, Softstill, signing off. Give me something and I'll write a video about it. God bless you. Good night.